Hi, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. I hope you all are out there staying safe and healthy. My name's Alex Dote. I work at PXG headquarters in Scottsdale, Arizona. And today I am sitting down with remotely, of course, one of our PXG tour pros. He's a Korn Ferry tour professional, and he's also our favorite left-handed golfer. If I had a drum roll, I would put it on now, but I don't because we're all working from home remotely. But here he is, Scott Langley. Scott, hi.
Hey Alex, how are you? How are you?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Yeah. So, with the Corn Ferry Tour following suit and suspending events, how are you staying centered amidst all this craziness right now?
Yeah, it's definitely crazy. First off, I hope everyone out there is staying safe and healthy. It's been a big adjustment for sure. I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I can say I think our teachers should be paid about 1,000 times more than whatever they make right now because uh, homeschooling and even facilitating online learning for our daughter. It's a full time job. It's wild, but small problems when you think about what other people are dealing with in the world and those who have been affected by this terrible virus. I just hope that um, this whole thing goes away quickly and people are safe. So but yeah, just taking it one day at a time, really, and focusing on being productive, as productive as I can be, and connecting with my family. It's a nice time for that.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's kind of that time to just take things slow. And it's weird because I think we all move really fast paced. And it's weird for me to move just so much slower. You're not going to work, you're kind of working from home if you have the liberty to do so. So it is different. And for you, I'm sure practicing at home is different than what you would typically be doing this time of year.
Yeah, yeah, it's been weird. I can't really do much. We live in a nice place, but it's a small condo, and we don't have a backyard. We don't have extra space to really set up anything like a driving range mat or a net or anything like that. So I've really just been trying to stay in shape, just trying to do some body weight exercises, do my uh, recovery kind of program, and just eat really healthy and try and just stay as ready as I possibly can for the time when it is okay to go back out and compete. That at least physically I'll be ready to handle the workload.
Yeah, you're gonna come out of this like Arnold Schwarzenegger or something. You know? Okay, so Scott, you're here to answer some fan questions, but I don't think everybody else knows that you also have a pretty cool announcement for some of our left-handed golfers and our PXG troops.
Yeah, yeah. So Bob Parsons and the whole team at PXG have always been really supportive of me and me being left-handed. Every club that we make, that the company makes, if it's made in right-handed, it's also made in left-handed. And I've always been really impressed by that because you don't see that everywhere else. And um, Bob's kind of taken it a step further with some special pricing on some Gen 1 and Gen 2 stuff for left-handed golfers only. So uh, it's nice. We're getting special treatment. I feel like it's
I know
normally
lefties never
normally
get
the,
the
the
special
other way
treatment. There's
around.
like in anything, like there's one desk in a classroom that's for a left-handed person.
Yeah.
So it's exciting. So yeah, I feel like especially, being in this field, we get asked a lot at PXG, do you guys make left-handed clubs? And it's like, yeah, we do, but it's a hot commodity. People don't always know that we do that, and it's exciting. And to your point, if you are watching out there and you want to go get on that special pricing, go customize your Gen 1, Gen 2 irons and wedges, go do that. Pause this video first though. So pause it because we're about to get into some fan Q&A with Scott. Okay, Scott, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, he's ready. It's a lazy day at home. You're ready. Okay, so first we have some questions from our PXG team, and then we'll get into some of those fan questions. So I know that you have a young daughter at home, and you kind of touched on this, but I feel like people at home need help and strategy on keeping young kids entertained. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, that's well, we've been in quarantine for what, like 3 or 4 weeks, and we're still
Mhm.
probably trying to figure it out. But just trying to go when socially responsible. Keep your distance. You go
Mhm.
outside and try and do it as much as possible. But there's still a lot of hours in the day to fill up. And fortunately, our daughter's school has really taken the initiative to do some online learning for them, some Zoom conference calls with their teachers and their classmates. So she gets to see her friends every day, which is nice.
That's cool.
And yeah, they give her stuff to work on in terms of homework and stuff she can little art projects. So we sit down and we do those together. And but most of the time we just play a lot. I mean, it's definitely uh, we're really hands-on parents, and we're just with her all the time now, and we're just playing like crazy.
I'd like to see all the art projects we're also working on. So I'll expect a full report.
Oh yeah, yeah, very elaborate.
Mhm. Okay, so we've heard, a lot of pros are taking this time to, hone in on their game or tune in on a certain aspect of their swing. Do you fall anywhere on that spectrum? I know we talked about space a little bit and you're more working on yourself more so, but have you been able to practice anything at home when it comes to actual swing and golf?
Not really. Like I said, we live in a pretty small place, and
Mhm.
we don't have room for stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
um, you know, I I have gone back and forth on the idea of going out to the driving range. We're here in Scottsdale, where the golf courses are still mostly open. But this virus, it's really made me think, and like many people have said that are in my kind of age group, we're not as worried personally for our own selves, but um, you know, I, we live in a building with a lot of older folks, and I really think about, do I want to endanger possibly other people by somehow unknowingly acquiring this virus and spreading it? And I certainly do not want to do that. So I've been really trying to weigh, uh, you know, what what's important, and how much social distancing is appropriate. And it's something that's been on my mind a lot for sure. And
Yeah.
you know it some of it depends, I think, for me on uh, further updates on our tour schedule.
Mhm.
Because as of right now, we don't have a tournament until towards the end of May. Um, and it's tough. No one really knows, if you look at all these sports, when these sports might come back. We hope will come back soon and quickly, but to be honest, there are bigger and more important things going on in the world right now. So hopefully, we as humanity can get those collectively sorted out, and then we can return to all the fun stuff we're used to.
No, that's a great point, and I think it's a responsible point too. And I think it's good for people to hear that perspective from athletes. Your job is to be on the course, but right now your main job is to be home. So I think that's a really good point to make. Um, okay, can you talk us through your specific PXG iron and shaft combo setup and why it works for you?
Yeah, of course. I love my irons. I played the ST irons, the blades, and they're the best irons I've ever played. They're incredible. I never thought I would play a blade that is as forgiving as the STs are. They're awesome, and the shaft that I use right now is True Temper AMT S400, and really the only playing characteristic that people would care about for that particular shaft is it helps you hit the ball a little bit higher.
Got it.
So for me, with the blade combo, the blade will typically give you a little lower ball flight, a little more workability, left to right, right to left, whatever
Mhm.
I prefer to do. That combined with the shaft to get the ball up in the air a little bit more, we really have dialed in my trajectory with the irons. really nicely. So we're hitting the window that I want really consistently, and that's a testament to the team at PXG. Fitting is such a big deal with our equipment, and my stuff is so dialed in. I'm spoiled. I live close
That's true. You'd
to
go in for
HQ.
daily spec checks if you wanted.
Yep.
Okay, next question. As a left-handed golfer, do course setups ever give you an advantage or disadvantage over your right-handed competitors?
There are definitely some courses that set up better for me than other guys. I hear that question a lot, and I think it's not so much left-handed versus right-handed. It's more, do you like to curve the ball right to left, or do you like to curve the ball left to right? Because lefties and righties alike, we will have a preferred shot shape, right? So
Yeah.
there are a lot of courses where um, if I fade the ball, but a right-handed player draws the ball, like we're both gonna like that golf course, even
Mhm.
though we play from different sides of the golf ball. Yeah, it's just course to course, really. But there are some, the one that comes to mind. I've only played there one time, but sad to say, the course that we should all be watching this week and competing on at Augusta National. Augusta National would you know, really suits a player who curves the ball right to left. That's why we've seen Phil Mickelson do so well there, and Bubba Watson. A couple lefties, but they curve the ball right to left. So yeah, that's one that comes to mind quickly.
Okay, love it. Did you, growing up, ever struggle to find equipment that fit you as a lefty?
Absolutely, yeah. It was tricky
Mhm.
because growing up, all the pro shops pretty much just kept right-handed clubs in stock. So I any clubs that I got, I pretty much just guessed that I would like the way it looked. If it was switched to left-handed, like I became really good at looking at a right-handed club and thinking, "Oh yeah, I think I would like the way that looks if it was left-handed." So,
That's not
um,
the way it should be.
no, well, thankfully it's not the way it is now, and especially not with PXG. But yeah, it was a little tricky growing up for sure. But it definitely taught me to be grateful for having easy access to equipment.
Yeah. Okay. We are about to get into the fan question segment
All
of
right.
this. Okay. So on Twitter, Leland Theory or Thierry Leland. I'm really sorry if I pronounce your last name wrong. But Leland wants to know, do other pros ever ask if they can hit your clubs, or is that not cool? Because everyone wants to hit my PXGs.
Leland, that's a good question. Yes, guys ask all the time, especially because I'm
Really?
left-handed. Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
because they want to show off their goofy-looking left-handed swing. We just
Mm.
saw Justin Thomas and Ricky Fowler do a left-handed match. What is that? A couple weeks ago now, and yeah, guys are always coming over to my bag. I the irons, they can only mess those up so bad. But the driver, I don't let them hit the driver because you can leave a lot of marks on the crown of the driver that I wouldn't
Yeah, no,
really
that's
like
fair.
looking at.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, next one from Kevin Elliott. That's an easier last name on Instagram. Most memorable moments from your college days at Illinois.
Well, some of them would be hanging out with Kevin. We're friends from college at University of Illinois.
Really?
Oh yeah,
That's funny. He snuck one in there. Kevin, you sneaky sly guy.
he is.
So now I'm even more interested because he can call you out if you're not being truthful about your most memorable moments. So please do tell. We're all waiting.
Well, Kevin is a great college friend of mine. We attended a lot of Bible studies together.
Mhm.
Shared a few classes. I think we went to some classes together. We might have at least maybe talked about class subjects a little bit in some study sessions. But um, yeah, a really good friend of mine from college, and I was thinking about that because I saw that he posted that, and it got me thinking about other fun college experiences that I could share on Twitter or, or Facebook or Instagram or whatever
Mhm,
social media. Um, it might sound cheesy, but a lot of them come back to my college golf team and just
mhm.
all of the fun times we shared together, and um, the ups and the downs and competing and early morning workouts and uh,
Mm.
just the whole experience. College golf is so special, and I was fortunate to have a great team and a great tight knit community of friends on my team and off my team at Illinois, and Kevin's definitely a part of that.
Okay, well, big shout out to Kevin. Way to sneak one in there. Okay, next one. Being a tour pro, you have the ability to select and play any brand of equipment you want. What made you choose PXG? And I almost didn't give him credit, but this is from Jeffrey Jepson. That's a fun name. Okay, anyways, carry on.
Jeffrey, thanks for the question, man. Yeah, like I said, very grateful to have access to equipment. Being a lefty these days on tour, it's nice. We get spoiled really easily. But the reason I chose PXG, there are many reasons, but just to name a few, I would say the attention to detail with uh, you know club building, and a prime example, the milled wedges. I think take like 6 to 8 hours to make just one wedge. The process is extremely time consuming, and but there's a reason for that. The reason is uh, the production variance in this equipment. Every wedge is like identical because they're so precise in the manufacturing process of these clubs, and that's something that is really important. You want to know one club to the next when you swap out a lob wedge, let's say, which I do probably 3 or 4 times a year. You want to know that it's exactly the same, that the bounce is the same, the grind is the same, and it's weird. Even if certain clubs say the same bounce, the same grind, have the same numbers, they can behave differently sometimes. But you don't get that with PXG. Their process, their attention to detail is extremely high. But the thing that has really, I think, impressed me the most about PXG is the level of service. And I've seen it at the shop many times when I go in Scottsdale, seeing the fittings going on for amateur golfers, and I know the process that we go through on the professional level, and uh, it's amazing. It's second to none. We are so spoiled.
Awesome. No, I think PXG too. It's that it really is just that attention to detail, and it carries down from the top down. It's it's insane. Like there's just every nook and cranny of manufacturing, apparel, whatever it is filled with like more than you could imagine detail could be put into a golf club. It's really cool and it's really special.
Yeah.
Okay, on Instagram, Bray Ditch 2. Sorry if I butchered that one too. Very sorry. Um, who's the funniest guy on tour?
Oh well, besides me,
Yeah.
let's see. No, I think there's a couple that would tie for first with me, and yeah, it's a couple that you might not think of, but a lot anybody on Twitter would say my boy Max Homa, and I would agree. Max is really funny,
Mhm.
and I think his swing stuff on Twitter is hilarious. But two kind of dark horses, I would go with Tom Gillis
Okay.
and Jason Bone, and a
Really?
couple veteran guys. Yeah, but
Okay.
when I first got out on tour, this was probably back in 2013. I somehow found my way into playing a lot of practice rounds in this particular group with uh, a few variations of guys, but the two guys that I always would play with were Tom Gillis and Jason Bone, and we would have these little games that we would play, and the trash talking. Oh, from these guys. I mean, it was. Yeah, I mean, I was just a poor rookie. Like they're twice my age, and they're just dressing me down on the golf course. But it's
So
all
not
really,
only did
really.
you get some really good practice in, you also got thicker skin.
Oh, 100%. But those guys, some of the pranks they pull on each other, the stories are, um, they're crazy. They're really funny.
Okay, I like it. Okay, next type of smell. Kurtik Koi would like to know, what do you look for when you're selecting a new driver?
Okay, good question. Well, if I'm switching from the one I currently play, I
Mhm,
definitely want it to come off the face faster. So I want more ball speed.
mhm,
I'm really, really happy with my current driver. I played the Gen 2 811X, and it's
mhm,
awesome. It's the straightest driver I've ever played. And so for me, if I'm looking to switch to a new one, it's got to go further. It has to go, it has to have the same accuracy. I certainly don't want to give any of that up.
mhm,
Um, but with drivers, you're really trying to find that perfect, and with every club really, but especially with the driver, you're really trying to optimize launch, spin, height, and ball speed, and all those things are going to impact how far you hit it. You can have, of the three or four kind of really important factors. If you were to look at kind of like TrackMan data or whatever,
mhm.
if one of those is wrong, it can cost you, 10 yards or 15 yards. So getting everything right, it's amazing the results that you can achieve through optimizing your equipment. And that's, again, just points to the importance of fitting. And the team at PXG has helped me a lot. We've checked every box when it comes to my fitting, especially of my driver. And what I have now, I'm really confident in. I love it.
Okay, next one on Twitter. Chris Decan wants to know. So you already answered this, but he wants really specific detail. So get into it with Chris Decan. I see you play the ST irons. What differences are there from the 0311 Gen 3 or Gen 2? Differences like look, sound, feel, forgiveness, spin, dispersion, workability. Talk to me.
Okay, so the difference I noticed between, let me just put it this way: if the STs did not exist, I would play the Gen 3 Ts, and I
Mhm,
would very happily play them. They're an exceptional iron. The only reason I play the STs is I like the smaller profile of looking down at the club head and just seeing a little thinner top line,
mhm.
more of a traditional blade looking club.
Yeah.
The Gen 3 Ts, I mean, I'm kind of splitting hairs because they look very similar to the STs. They are the most blade like of the Gen 3 family.
Mhm,
Um, and they're it's an awesome iron. I mean, when I was testing both of them, I was having a really hard time picking, and
mhm.
eventually I could have almost closed my eyes and just pointed if someone was holding both irons in two hands, and whichever one I pointed at, I would have been happy with. But yeah, the smaller profile, little thinner top line, just looks slightly different, but the performance of both is really exceptional. There's a reason everybody, um, considers PXG to make the finest iron out there.
Okay, next one from Brian Velasquez on Instagram. What is the favorite piece of golf memorabilia that you own?
Ooh, man, that's so tough. I'm kind of a minimalist. Like stuff I usually just give to my friends.
That's sweet of you.
But let me think. I've I got some stuff. I guess was okay. I got an answer for you.
He's ready. He's ready. Brian, he's ready. So tune in, volume up.
Okay. I personally don't keep a lot of memorabilia stuff, but I know my mom certainly does keep a lot of memorabilia, excuse me, stuff. And one of the things that is at her house is the money clip from my very first pro tournament that I ever qualified for or played in. It was the 2010 U.S. Open at Pebble Beach. I was going into my senior year at U of I for college,
Mhm.
so I was still a kid. But I somehow found a way to qualify and ended up finishing 16th in the U.S. Open, and I finished tied for low amateur with my friend Russell Henley, and it was just a really special week. I had one of my best friends caddy for me, and that's probably looking back on some of the things that have been kept. I think the money clip from that week will always be a special kind of memento from tournaments past for sure.
Awesome. Okay. Last fan question. I have one more after that though. Buff Mike, or let me let me rephrase that. It could be Buff Mike, but he's on Instagram as Buff MKE. So again, very sorry if I butchered that. But he or she wants to know, what is your go-to shot under pressure? Squeeze fade or the 3-wood skipper?
Well, Buff Mike sounds like he's been skipping leg day.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Mike. We love the
This
question, or whoever you are. We love the question.
I
I
know
want to
who it
make that
is.
clear.
I know this Buff Mike.
Oh, you do.
Yeah,
So it is Buff Mike.
it's close. It's technically Milwaukee, but we'll call it Buff Mike.
I like Buff Mike
Yeah,
better.
me too. I'll see if I can get him to
Yeah.
change it. Oh man, my well, he only Buff Mike knows this shot. He actually showed it to me personally. The 3-wood skipper. It
Mhm.
involves it involves like hitting out of a giant valley and hitting it so low that the ball skips off of the grass in front of you and then flies up into the air somewhere towards the green. It's a miraculous shot that I don't recommend anyone trying. But I would have to say my go-to shot is a little squeeze fade with the driver for sure off the tee.
Got it. Okay, Buff Mike, I want to give you a round of applause over here for rounding out the fan question with that. We loved it. And if you don't change the Instagram name, we're going to have some problems. I think it's a necessity now to just be Buff Mike. Okay, last question for you. When golf season ramps back up, when the world kind of returns to some kind of normalcy, what are you most looking forward to?
I'm looking forward to competitive golf again. I'm looking forward to watching sports. I'm looking forward to all of us feeling comfortable going outside and hanging out with friends and getting together and going to dinner. And gosh, I mean, I'm just excited for life to go back to um, some sense of normal. But you know, for the time being, there are very important things that need to take place for people to stay safe and stay healthy. And um, there's a lot of pain that people are dealing with right now, and I certainly would never want to not acknowledge that. This is a really serious deal. I try and look at silver linings a lot, and the silver lining for me is I get to have a lot of extra time with my family that you would never think you would get to have. And I think most of us can probably say the same thing. We get so caught up in just running and running and running daily life, and it's almost it's a blessing in a way to be able to slow down and just take some time to be with each other. And but I'm definitely looking forward to getting things back to normal and being able to spend time with uh, my wife's parents and my parents, because certainly one of the things you think about now is how you can protect the older people in your life.
Mhm.
So yeah, hopefully it just comes back to normal sooner rather than later.
I think we can all relate to that, just that feeling of, you almost get like you feel pent up, or like you want to go outside and you want to do stuff, and then you kind of have this realization that all that is really trivial. All those things that you want to do mentally are really trivial, and you should just kind of sit back and appreciate that you're happy, healthy, and able to, be home and spend time with family. So I think everybody's kind of going through that mental shift kind of back and forth right now.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right. Well, Scott, thank you so much. Thank you for helping us make the lefties special pricing announcement. I think everybody's going to be really excited about that. Wishing you and your family all the best. And like I said, I want to see those art projects from you and your daughter.
Yeah, maybe. Don't hold your breath.
Okay, maybe Buff Mike can leak some
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
picture, or Elliot, or whoever. Okay, thanks so much, Scott. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.